Hey there, you me DC fans. Welcome. And if you are new, I am Mantis Toboggan. And today we're going to get back into Martian Manhunter, Absolute Martian Manhunter, issue number 4. Let's check it out. All right, guys. Yes, as I said in the intro, we're going to get into the Absolute Martian Manhunter issue number 4. And leading off from where we were last time, we found out that there's a white Martian that is trying to wreak havoc in Middleton. So let's see what happens in this one. This issue opens up with Middleton being shown in the sunlight that a Martian had placed in the sky, or at least the visual. You get that visual that a Martian had placed in the sky. The city looks to be baking in the heat as two people bump into each other, one spilling their iced coffee on the other, and a fight is seemingly going to break out. Next, Bridget is looking to talk to John as he tells her that there was a riot downtown and he has to leave to investigate it. Calling his bluff, she noticed he didn't get a call on the phone. John doubles down on his assertion that several people have been hurt and that they need him. But Bridget is feeling neglected and clearly upset, saying that she needs him, that both her and his son need him. John doesn't see his marriage and father jobs as important as the crisis downtown, but it seems clear that this is going to come to a head pretty soon. At the crime scene, John finds a tooth on the ground that he picks up and holds into the sun. And one of the responding officers fill him in on the situation that there were several injuries and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of property damages, all over some spilled coffee. This doesn't seem to add up. The Martian, concerned with the sun possibly being the cause of the riot, he calls it bad idea number 8429, the white heat of war, hinting at the involvement of the white Martian here. And as we know, this isn't the first time that there's been some violence caused by the white Martian. Continuing with the info dump, the officer tells John that the 103 degrees heat has been for 10 straight days, is adding to the short fuses of everyone and their irritability. We also find out that Mayweather had quit the force several weeks ago, likely due to the events of the fires, John jumping through and all the burnt people and everything. So maybe he just had too much of it. On his drive home, John explains the cultural demographics of the city, describing it as a melting pot of several cultures, people, and points of view. And it's actually kind of a miracle that things are as peaceful as they have been to this point. We see depictions of steam coming out of people's heads this whole issue. And again here, showing two groups of people coming out of two different bars located on Happy Heart Lane, which is kind of funny, screaming mad at each other on the march to fight. The Martian, looking into their minds, finds that white light, causing old prejudices people had put behind them that's coming back to life, fueling the anger. Each day seemingly getting worse than the last, as John continues to dodge Bridget and the discussion he knows needs to happen, but does avoid it. Even neighbors, friendly over 20 years, watching each other's kids grow up together, are at each other's throats with weapons as a property line dispute escalates into a no man's land between two walls. Each side manning it 24/7 with all family members, including children. The Martian hasn't had much luck with the sun to this point, so John decides he needs to try and treat the symptoms of the rage between the Hatfields and McCoys by reminding them both of the times that they helped each other with very difficult times, including watching their kids and mowing the lawn for their neighbors while their parent was going through chemo treatments. And similarly, on the opposite side, one of the neighbors saved his son from getting plowed by a semi-truck. John's trying to infuse some of the memories that they had and some of the good things and that they're not enemies anymore. On day 13 of the heat wave, several cops just decide to shoot unprovoked citizens at traffic stops. The officers, unrepentant, are raging here. The victims' families are already concocting revenge fantasies in their head and what they may do. A violent brawl even breaks out at a bowling alley for someone stepping over the line on their bowling throw. All the while, John's home life continues to worsen, as well, with awkward dinners. And now John is sleeping on the couch even. On the 14th day of the scorching heat, a literal holy war breaks out between two churches. Well, they used to be one church, but they decided to split over a baptism, whether it's just a sprinkling of water or whether you have to fully submerge. So they kind of split. But now that's seemingly mundane as members of each church try to kill each other with swords and maces like medieval style. John tries to sneak out again as Bridget catches him and it really has had enough. She confronts John about him avoiding her, saying they're supposed to be partners. John can't come to grips with the fact that he's been avoiding her. We also see that the Martian may be closing in on how to stop the white hot sun that's been causing all the violence in the city. Bridget tells John she knows he's never been an emotional person or someone that shares those emotions, but when she can no longer look into his eyes and feel like she knows him anymore, she no longer trusts John and tells him that she even doubts his love for her and his son. This is jarring for John as the cigarette falls from his lips in shock. It's as though an explosion occurred in John's mind as you see the colors explode on the page. And he realizes, how dire his situation is with his family. Going down on his knees, embracing Bridget, he pleads his case. Of course you know how I feel about you, referencing his feelings for his family. It's almost, he says it almost like he doesn't even believe it at this point. As Bridget tells him she no longer feels like she knows him anymore, we see the White Martian stopping the sun/heat wave issue, along with 3 separate people putting on explosive vests. The rage finally takes its toll on Bridget as she shoves John away, not accepting his excuse of the FBI as the reason for his absence and the man that he's become. Upset about moving from DC as well as losing their friends because they won't return her calls, she slaps John in the face. As the Martian slowly does stop the White Martian's hold over the heat wave, causing the city to destroy itself, Bridget continues to unravel in front of John. She laments the fact that John never tells her anything, including stuff from his work. John tells her it's for their own protection. We always hear that. It's for your own good. We also see the 3 people with the explosive vest are now on the move in their cars, but we don't know where. Well, we don't have to wait too long, as it appears the bombers are headed to power plants located in Middleton. The Martian seems happy with himself as he thinks he stopped the White Martian's attack on the city via the sun's rays. But Bridget comes at John with the last volley of words, taking offense to the fact that he thinks she's imagining her thoughts and feelings. Says that she can't take any more of the secrets and the lies. Next, we see Middleton and John's personal life seemingly both going up in flames and exploding as the bombers blow up all 3 power plants, and Bridget kicks John out of the house to boot. The lights go out, and both John and Bridget are confused, saying, well, what happened? It's clear the plan of the White Martian is unraveled a bit more as the Green Martian says the sun causing the violent actions across the city was a distraction for the real plan, to plunge the city into complete darkness. Well, guys, that is issue number 4. Again, we still see this control that the White Martian wants to have on the city affecting the emotions of everyone. As in the last issue, number 3, with people throwing Molotov cocktails, burning people down, burning buildings down. Here, it's like people's rages and their pent up aggression, maybe some grudges that they've held, just are expounded upon, and they just are vented in people's rage across the city. So while that was happening, and John thought that was the issue, his home life got destroyed, the city got destroyed in part of it, as well as now the whole city doesn't have any power. So hopefully in the next issue, we'll get to see kind of where the White Martian's going with their plan. Well, guys, I appreciate you watching the video. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. We do appreciate it. Leave down in the comments, if you've liked where this is heading. At first, again, like I said, I didn't really necessarily care for the style of this, but it's kind of growing on me. So, again, appreciate everyone hanging out. And until next time, later.